you guys? Welcome back to my channel, The Unpopular Party, hosted by me, Malik Taylor. And hold on, first off, let me just apologize for my lack of posting. I be joking, I be telling people, look, us content creators, it's low-key been our summer break. Even outside, baby, I just came back from the Beyonce concert. I took an impromptu trip to Memphis, just did a 10-hour road trip. I've been having fun. And as much as I would love to sit on this couch and keep binging the show, BoJack Horseman, clap if you've seen the show, it's kind of heavy. I realized one thing, it's time to get back to work. It's time to get back to work. And what better way to come back to work than talking about none other than Nicki Minaj. Oh, Nicki, you make my job so easy because you always give us a hot topic to talk about. Because lately, Nicki Minaj has been calling out ROC Nation, Desiree Perez, but she literally got into it with SZA, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you guys send my way. Remember, she ain't a pretty girl if she not subscribed to Malik Taylor, because you know, pretty girls love Malik Taylor, pretty boys love Malik Taylor, pretty people love Malik Taylor. I get so much love from pretty fly people. The bums be hating, but it's to be expected. So make sure you join the Pretty Unpopular crew, and let's just get started with this breakdown. Oh, Nicki. She has just been calling out like stuff between Jay-Z. Like she's been calling out ROC Nation. It's no secret that Nicki Minaj do not like these people. It's no secret that Nicki Minaj felt outed by Jay-Z because he owes her a lot of money behind the title deal. She felt like they did her, you know, unruly. A lot of behind the scenes things that have happened. So that's already what's been keeping Nicki Minaj in headway. But literally over the weekend, she found herself in another situation. Now, how exactly it started, that's what's still kind of murky to me. But from what I gathered, I believe TDE, who was the man of TDE, he said something about Broken Barbie, right? Apparently that was something to promote a song. So Nicki started going off on TDE. You know, she had tweeted out TDE stands for Tiny Executive, and then she started calling out that man, talking about some, oh, do y'all remember when this man used to bully me, when he used to talk about me, and when he used to, you know, do all this stuff back in the day towards me, and we got the receipts. But Nicki had tweeted out, she had tweeted MTM minus 30 million with the Chucky Me. Now, people for some reason thought she was talking about Doechii. I don't think she was shading Doechii. I do think that was a dig at TDE and a dig at how all of a sudden all these artists, allegedly SZA, Kendrick, and Doechii, they all lost 30 million streams on the same day at the same time. But Nicki did state she was gonna call that executive man TDE minus 30 million. That was she tweeted out. That was a reference to him. However, you lost 30 million, you lost 30 million. I don't know. Now, mind you, I didn't know any of this was going on, right? I remember I just logged into Twitter and I saw SZA say, Mercury retrograde is going on. Don't take the bait, silly goose. And I was like, okay, thanks, SZA. Hey, SZA, okay, girl. I didn't know Nicki was dragging people yet, but you know, SZA, she is associated with, not associated, ain't she signed to TDE, Suzanne? Yeah, TDE, that's them. You know, that's SZA, Kendrick, Doechii, that's them. So I'm just thinking SZA is just tweeting randomly, just like, you know, hey, y'all be cautious. Little did I know what the chaos was about to ensure after that, because Nicki quoted her and was like, go draw your freckles back on, Bookie. Justice for Demore, Disposition Perez, keep a pin of that. But she said, liar, liar, pants on fire, sounded like a fucking dead dog. I said, oh my God, no! I was like, what happened? And then SZA fired back. I read this completely in her voice. She said, I don't give a fuck about none of this weird popping. So I was like, whoa, what happened? But it didn't stop there. Nicki just went off on that girl. Like SZA has said, LOL, let me go back to being calm, shy, and meek. Y'all have a blessed night. See you tomorrow for night 2 in Paris. And then Nicki gonna say some, shut up, ugly. I'm in a meeting. I didn't care if you still talking SZA now, so if you did it, I'll delete it later, ho. The damage is kind of done now. What you mean you gonna delete it later? But Nicki just started being on SZA behind. Like someone had tweeted a miserable, passive-aggressive weirdo, and Nicki was like, exactly, we gonna start calling this girl Mizza. She been miserable going on 2 decades now. And then when she was hopping on station here, she was like, get in, loser, but she spelled it LZA. And then they was talking about how SZA used to be online talking about all these celebrities back in the day, like Sierra, Rihanna, Beyonce, all these people. Nicki was like, do you know the level of inside hate you have to have this much level of for no reason to the women you later worked with? Now you want to act like you a tarot card? What an odd little weirdo. Then Nicki started saying how, you know, SZA took the bait. Because he said on stage here, she said she'd rather argue with the men. But she's like, the men be trying to send the women. And it's like, okay, I got you. So Nicki gonna tweet out, she damn near broke that man back and leg. She big, chubby, and skinny at the same time. I said, that's why I draw the line there, because I ain't gonna talk about nobody's way. Okay, I don't want nobody to talk about my way, because I know how my way be up and down. So I ain't gonna never talk about nobody's way. That's... You know, let me hustle on that topic, but Nicki was like, where are those 30 million streams that disappeared on Spotify, just like your fake freckles? Biden tweets when you arguing is just as weird as SZA. And then Nicki had stated, she said, wait, does SZA think she's more successful than me? LOL, y'all catch me up, please. SZA, if every song you've done vanished right now, the music business wouldn't even miss you. I've been to countries that never heard of you. I know that you're not that stupid. Are you stadiums? Did you look at the venues I played on my own headline festival tour out the country last year? Have you ever headlined to 80K people? What have you done besides Yoda with auto-tune that need retuning? Oh my gosh, Bucky, calm down.
Bucky, calm down.
Well, I'm an icon, you're not. The end. Pay that man for almost breaking his back. Why you didn't speak up when your executives was bullying and harassing me? These body numbers on all platforms have y'all losing y'all minds. You the type that would have been quiet at school trying to fit in. You still have no clue who you are. I know you went nice without washing that musty face. How you remember exactly where every freckle goes? Also, Justice for Demore, Desiree Perez, we want to discuss your daughter lawsuit, and did you do your deposition? Oh, okay. But SZA fired back. Okay, here's the thing with SZA. SZA wasn't like tweeting a lot, but she was in them IG comments. Now, SZA did make another tweet, and she said, Nicki, you absolutely know my music and what I contribute because you asked for a feature twice to no response. In addition to rapping my lyrics on feeling myself, cooking up the bass, looking like a kilo, you're just having a moment, I'm not sure why, but be blessed. And it's the messages where it's like, hey, it's Nicki Minaj, yeah, how are you? And then Nicki fired back. She was like, girl, don't act like I wanted to sing that little part. Don't act like you wrote that part. You wrote that line for Beyonce. And none of us, and Beyonce didn't want to sing it. So I just, you know, did a little cooking up the bass. And then Nicki was like, they just took it and ran. She was like, hey, it's Justin Bieber. No, just in. Desiree, did you do your difference? It was just the biggest mess. Now, here's the thing. You know me, I'm a man of multiple point of views. I can see how you could be annoyed with Nicki Minaj because from the general public point of view, you look, oh my gosh, she's always going on rant. She's always getting into it with somebody. But what makes this Nicki and SZA situation so funny to me is because they both are one of the same. I've always said Nicki and SZA, they are both the same people, just in different fonts. Listen, you cannot think Nicki Minaj is crazy, not think the same about SZA, because I follow both of them. Yes, I like both of their music, okay? I like both SZA and Nicki. That's why I was like, I'm just gonna stay out of this. But it was so funny seeing how they was moving on Instagram. Like literally, Nicki started posting like her stats, like most stream, and then here comes SZA posting her stat. Yeah, I just got a diamond record. They literally are both one the same. They just need to hop on station head and just talk. They both a little off, but they just off on two different spectrums. SZA is more like the whining, crazy type, like, oh, you just invalidating my feelings. I never forget when SZA literally was going back and forth with that 18-year-old in the DMs telling her like, you invalidating my feelings. Like, why would you make me do that? Like, you don't see how that made me feel sad. Don't let it hurt my feelings. You know, at 34, which is, wow.
Me and said not okay, space period. So I was like, oh my god, why is SZA in my DM? So I just said, sorry, it was just a joke. I didn't think she'd come back to it or anything. I was like, what? But she came back to it, obviously. You can read it here. I was like, what? And while I was like reeling, this random account sent me this DM that said zero as fuck. And the account is like full of photos with SZA. This is SZA's friend. SZA's friend came after me. So I sent a message back that was like, why, you're 15 years older than me, why are you coming after me for a meme? I didn't mean it. Obviously I didn't think you're whack, you know. I spent all this money on your show, like, why are you coming after me, a genuine fan, instead of your real haters? And, you know, she said that, classic. Then she DM'd me like 10 times in a row and said all this. I didn't curse at you, call you names, you lacked empathy, humanity, all this. I'm like, okay, girl.
And Nicki Minaj, she's more of just a New York, or more of a Serta. What you see is what you get. How a wolf in sheep clothing. What you see is what you see. So I think Nicki took it too far with SZA. I don't think it was meant for SZA. SZA got caught in the crossfire trying to subtweet. SZA, if you weren't ready for all that, you should have sat there and ate your food. It's like when you getting roasted and then one person start laughing. I know you not laughing. SZA thought she was gonna be a little slick and throw a little pepper at her. Nah, baby, I saw you throw that pepper, come back here. And I don't think Nicki necessarily went too far because everything Nicki Minaj was saying is stuff that's already people say on the internet. So I was like, I get it, y'all don't like Nicki Minaj, but I was like, I'm not finna act like, oh, Nicki just took it too far. But that's always been like a certain thing on the internet. Y'all know we always used to say SZA be lying. You know that was a meme. You know that's just been a thing. It's literally a whole video breaking down all of SZA lies. That's just been like an ongoing common knowledge thing. SZA is a liar. We know SZA lied about them freckles.
A lot more freckles. For a while, like I covered them because I wasn't born with them. Like they developed through like high school, and then I was already being teased for other shit, and I didn't want another reason for them to tease me.
We know SZA lie, guys, I never had birthday cake. You're eating cake. We know SZA lie, guys, I never grew up with a TV in my room. You're watching TV. She also used to just lie and say, oh, she had a marine biology degree, but she didn't. And then she lied about how her hair was real. That wasn't true. She even said this year, she was like, April Fools don't bother me because I lie all year round. And then 2 days later, when it actually did become Mercury retrograde, I was like, there goes SZA lying again. Although we are in Mercury retrograde now, but you know, that shadow period is still, yeah. No, SZA's just one of them girls, yeah, she is a liar, but she can make a good song. That's just, she make good music. I'm like, Nicki, SZA, y'all should talk this out because that wasn't meant for SZA. You know, that just wasn't meant for SZA to talk it out. And then I'm seeing people like on my Instagram and Twitter, they're like, oh, I'm deleting all of Nicki's music off my catalog, or I'm going in and I'm deleting all of SZA music off. Like, we too grown for that. I'm sorry, we too grown for that. If the song about the song about, we don't know these people in real life. I'm finna make good music. I'm not finna stop because they got into it. In this household, they're gonna have to talk it out. Like, we just gonna have to handle it like this. Look, SZA, Nicki, SZA, stop turning your back at me. Hold on. SZA, Nicki, y'all just need to talk. Okay, it's nothing wrong with two grown boss women just telling each other my bad. Okay, y'all just need to talk, hug it out, hop on that song together, you know, just that song. Just and they gonna hug, they gonna make up, and this is gonna be what it is to be in this household. They'll be out, just let them separate for a little minute. But that just goes back to what I say. I don't think all of that was meant for SZA because there is a bigger picture at hand. And the bigger picture is Nicki Minaj coming at ROC Nation, Jay-Z, and Desiree Perez. Which leads me to my unpopular opinion. I have to keep saying it because even though the channel is called The Unpopular Party, people still get upset at my unpopular opinion. So I have to say, this is my unpopular opinion. I really don't fault Nicki Minaj for going off and going after these higher executives. Because although as a fan, do I be wanting her to just shut up and just put the phone down and enjoy her hiatus in peace? Yes. But that's just not Nicki Minaj. And I feel like she's just been turning a blind eye to a lot of things she's seen in the industry for too long. And as us, the consumers, we really don't know. I have to emphasize this. We really don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We don't know everything that goes on. We're just spoon-fed information by blogs who half of them are on payroll. And are her rants very assertive? Yes. Also, this is a woman from the moment she stepped into the industry, the odds was already stacked against her. The moment she entered, she already people looking at her like, who this little girl with this little tiny voice talking about some she the best. Like I was on the fucking YouTube, have my little nephew trying to find Bluetooth. But like that's how they felt. But it's been so many corporate executives and regulators and machines that have just tried to blackball her, just ruin her credibility. I mean, they already banded together in 2018 and blackball her. I mean, every male DJ was banding together to not give this girl radio play for her album. Yet Nicki Minaj still prevailed. I mean, she still managed to get her music heard through the power of the barbs. And Nicki's supposed to have been out of here, but she still prevailed. It was just this funny story. Back in 2018, I remember me and my friend was leaving a college party, and we must have heard what Chung Lee on the radio. I was like, ooh, somebody gonna get fired, because that was just a known thing. Nicki Minaj just didn't get radio play. Now, the industry, they already didn't like her because she was one of the few artists who pushed for these new artists to get paid through their streams on like Apple Music and stuff. They already didn't like her when all of these rappers banded together to put this woman on an obituary.
UNITY, love a black woman from infinity to infinity. Nicki Minaj.
Sat there with they full chest. And then any newcomer who leaned towards to saying like, hey, I like Nicki Minaj, they was like, oh no, you gotta drop that, you gotta let that go. And we literally saw that firsthand on the rap game with what the little girl, what was saying, Ricky Biddy, when like she was about to say like, hey, my favorite artist is Nicki Minaj, and they was like, oh no, like I know that's not your favorite artist. Them other little girls like, my favorite rapper is Queen Latifah, and that wasn't even born. But it just kind of coerced her to like change her answer.
Like alive would be Nicki Minaj, just because there's very few female rappers in this industry. I love Nicki Minaj. She is a great performer. Like, she gets into everything. She makes faces. Like, she's such a good performer to me. It's for the ladies specifically. You know, if you want to be in this industry, unfortunately, you don't have that many examples you can look up to, because I wouldn't say Nicki would be your example. Or you tell me, is she your example? Because I got a question after that if you tell me that's who you're looking up to. I feel like people like Queen Latifah and Remy Ma, just because, okay, this is a male-dominant industry, but we finna come in here and we finna destroy y'all.
Now, Ricky has spoke on this situation, and like she stated, you know, someone has made a point, she's like, don't attack her, she was bullied. She said people don't understand that she was 13 at the time when the show filmed, and like she's 16. Well, she's not 16 now. This is like a story that had went re-viral back in like 2017. But she was like, you know, I felt pressure pressure to change my answer because it was adults in the room that, you know, was making me thinking that my original statement was wrong. Now, Nicki, she saw this and she called it out. Now, she didn't call out the girl because, you know, like Nicki stated, she's sweet. She's the victim here. She did nothing wrong. That's a whole kid. The grown, bitter women is simply sick. But Nicki pretty much said, like, PSA, this is pretty much what goes on behind the industry. She was like, PSA, all you girls do this and it's sad. Even male artists got to pretend in interviews now, Chad. It's so much like little stuff that I feel like Nicki Minaj has seen in the industry. And it's like, it's one of those things, you know, you see girls come in the industry like Coco Jones, SZA, Jasmine Sullivan, her, Normani. They come into the game and kind of thing whenever they come into the game, oh, they coming for Beyonce's spot. We got a new queen of pop. Bow that OBS. It's like, you know, people still give Beyonce her flowers because, you know, Beyonce is just that great of an artist. But the second the general public meet a new girl who just rapping fast, oh, we got a new queen of rap. Oh, Nicki don't make that. It's like they be trying so hard to replace Nicki Minaj just because they just don't like her talent. It's just so weird. So I feel like that's why Nicki is just so irritated. And we find ourselves in the cycle. They hype up the new chick just because they don't like Nicki Minaj and then they get all these stats. But I feel like impact is what's important because y'all don't be liking these girls for y'all just dislike Nicki Minaj. You go to their one of their shows and they be pointing the mic to the crowd and they be, you don't know these people music. It's just good for a think piece. So I think Nicki's just at a point, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. So damn it. And if I'm coming out swinging, I'm coming out swinging with my rings on. I'm going for the head honcho himself, Jay-Z. And I get y'all don't like Nicki Minaj. I get that she's not everybody's cup of tea. But I feel like we can't really turn a blind eye to the fact that everybody's kind of saying the same thing. And I feel like the Diddy trial should have been a big eye opener that you can't put nothing past nobody. If I'm not mistaken, I remember, you remember MIA, Paper Plane, All I Wanna Do It, psh, psh, psh. Yeah, she was calling out Jay-Z and ROC Nation, and her story pretty much sounded like kind of similar.
Even when I met Jay-Z and I signed to ROC Nation, the first thing he told me to do is get plastic surgery. I'm not insecure because I would have got plastic surgery. So their argument of Maya's fucking insecure, that's why she needs to massage her ego, fails because you turn around and ask those what women do you know who hasn't had plastic surgery around you? All of them have. I'm the only one who didn't, which already proves the fact. It's not insecurity.
I remember 6ix9ine, he had said some stuff about Desiree Perez.
That's now, but you know what? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody is gonna be like, yo, nobody's gonna expose this. You're with a rat every day. Desiree Perez and Meek Mill. Desiree and Perez and Meek Mill walking out the courtroom. Desiree Perez and Jay-Z, right? Desiree Perez struck a deal with the feds, agreeing to wear a hidden wire to record her meetings with the major cocaine traffickers. Her undercover informant work won her courtroom praise for federal prosecutors.
And even so much so, Colin Kaepernick's wife, Nessa, she called out and stood behind Nicki Minaj. She said, at Nicki Minaj exposing the spear campaign tactic that Jay-Z, ROC Nation, Desiree Perez did to her behind the scene is very similar to what I was told they did to Colin Kaepernick when Jay-Z purposely co-opted Colin's protest by siding with the NFL to help their image after they blackballed Colin for his protest. I called them out years ago and so many people were scared to say it publicly but would tell me how they agree with me privately, shaking my head. ROC Nation apparently took $5 million a year over 5 years to bury the growing protests and specifically help them move beyond the controversy around team unwillingness to sign Kaepernick. Desiree even said, we love that everybody wants to be on the stage, that we completely changed the conversation to fighting for it versus boycotting. We come the long way. She got her pardoned by Trump. No coincidence NFL owners are his buddies and also donated millions to his campaign. I still don't watch that league or whoever is performing at whatever game they are playing, which was my biggest thing with like the Super Bowl and NFL because I was like, are we supposed to be boycotting this? Like, I feel like people get amnesia. Like, cause I remember when Jay-Z like started working with them, everybody was like, really? Like, really?
I think we passed kneeling. Yeah, I think it's time to go into actionable items. So, what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So, reach millions and millions of people, or we get stuck on Colin not having a job. If protesting on the field is the most effective way, then protest on the field. But if you have a vehicle like Inspired Change where you can speak to the masses and educate at the same time as well, tell people what's going on so people are not controlling your narrative.
So you passed on performing at the Super Bowl, and then you rapped about passing on performing at the Super Bowl. You said the NFL needed you, you didn't need the NFL. What changed? What was the impetus for the partnership?
Yeah, as an artist, I've always held myself in high regard and respect. And if I'm in a position or in a space where I feel like my the level of respect that I earn as an artist is being compromised, I'm going to speak about it. Only way we're going to move forward is through conversations.
So that's why when I see these woke artists like Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl talking about turn the TV off, turn the TV off. We can't turn the TV off. You got the remote. You playing the game too. Which leads me to what Nicki's biggest battle is right now, going after Desiree Perez and the whole Desiree Perez situation with her daughter. Her daughter, Damori, is literally suing her for the same type of tactics that people in the industry have been talking about. You know, Damori stated that her mom didn't like the boy that she was dating, so she was trying to threaten them, saying, you know, I could get him arrested, had police following them, men following them, had cameras in their house watching them. And with those cameras in the house, Desiree literally used footage to try to alter it to make it seem like they was in some type of physical domestic abuse, to try to get the man that she's dating arrested because she didn't like them. So she said she will mute the audio, cut and screw the audio and turn it in to the police, and also try to do this to get her daughter under a conservatorship. It's literally crazy.
My name is Damori Hadley, maiden name Damori Lopez Perez. So just an overview of everything that has happened. I have been falsely imprisoned and through the misuse of the Baker Act, the Marchman Act, and a petition for a guardianship. And then my husband was falsely imprisoned 3 times. And then we've had to deal with harassment following both from licensed and unlicensed private investigators, as well as both of us being sued, as well as both of us being potentially gagged, and then both of us threatened, and then both of us followed on a 24/7 basis for the last 2 years.
Legal action after she says she spent nearly 2 weeks in mental health institutions for no legitimate reason.
She claims in a recently filed lawsuit that it was orchestrated by her own mother, and others who should have protected her failed her.
So legally, I can go home.
No, you cannot.
Why?
Because you're being Baker active.
Body camera video shows the moments Broward deputies encouraged Damori Hadley to get into this pickup truck with people she says she didn't know.
I can ride with you and you guys take me?
You're going to be in handcuffs, so the dog's not going to be able to come?
I don't want to be in handcuffs.
Okay.
Damori says they took her to a hospital for a mental health evaluation after this doctor signed paperwork saying she was a risk to herself.
What he told me was, we received a call from your family that you tried to OD the night before.
A doctor she says she'd never met before. And according to Damori, it's her own mother who's behind it. In this lawsuit, she claims her mother, Desiree Perez, used unlawful means to have Damori falsely detained under Florida's Baker Act and Marchman Act.
So she's the CEO of ROC Nation, a company that she owns along with Sean Carter, the famous rapper Jay-Z.
The complaint alleges a conspiracy, saying Perez used her money, power, and influence to tear apart Damori and her husband, Javon Hadley, and created an enterprise of individuals to effectuate her plot.
To essentially try to separate me from my husband and to falsely accuse him of domestic violence.
What's going on?
What's right there right now?
Wait, no. What is going on?
Excuse me,
do you have a warrant for his arrest?
He has a probable cause to be arrested.
No, he does not have a probable cause. You guys are harassing him. No. Go get your grandma now. Go get your grandma now.
Come on, mama.
Go get your grandma now. No. You have a warrant for his arrest?
What y'all doing?
I haven't seen anything in my entire 20 years of practicing law that it is so clear that someone did something wrong.
Attorney Hilton Napoleon is representing Damori in the lawsuit, which claims Perez harassed the couple for years, including making unfounded claims to get Javon arrested on multiple occasions for battery and domestic violence, charges prosecutors did not pursue. The prosecutor also wrote Damori was wrongfully Baker Acted last year, something her mother's attorney disputes in this letter challenging many of the memo's other conclusions.
I have 3 different collateral sources of information that say that she's been acting psychotic, that she threatened to overdose yesterday.
Damori's lawsuit alleges her mother conspired with prominent psychiatrist Dr. Daniel Bober, seen here in body camera video, and others to have Damori committed for a mental health evaluation. Bober cites supporting evidence from her family and diagnosed Damori with an unspecified psychosis. He ordered she be taken to Memorial Regional Hospital, where he is chief of psychiatry, and where results from tests taken upon admission were negative, according to records Damori shared with us.
They told me your tox screens came out negative, and I go, I know, I don't do drugs.
While Damori was at Memorial, her mother further petitioned to have her transported to a different facility under Florida's Marchman Act, claiming again in court records that Damori suffered from severe abuse. A judge granted that petition.
They ran the test. They knew that she had no drugs in her system and she was not abusing, and the fact that you can't do anything about it is scary.
DeMore was sent to this treatment center in Deerfield Beach, where Dr. Bober serves as medical director.
Where are the people that are supposed to protect me from this happening?
According to her lawsuit, DeMore requested a hair follicle test at that facility called Life Skills, which detected drug use for at least the past 3 months, and which showed no drugs had been in DeMore.
So I tried to leave. She has like an automatic gate. She locks it. So I tried to climb over. I had my dog with me, trying to hop over the gate, not drop my dog. And she's punching me, hitting me. And at that point, she's like, if you try to leave and go back with that, I will have you committed. She whispered that in my ear.
Is it that Nicki Minaj is so invested in what's happening to you?
So I know. I haven't spoken to her, by the way. So I'm going to put that on the record. I have not been in direct contact with her. Would love to. I think she's standing up for me because she has been through some trauma and some abuse with ROC Nation, with Desiree Perez, with other individuals. What I can say about that is I've witnessed and heard a lot of things. Again, is hearsay, right? So it doesn't even matter. And that's why I'm not even going to go into detail with that. If I have the opportunity to speak with Nicki, would love to connect with her on that. I've kind of seen, just like you firsthand, how they've they've abused her. They've abused of her platform. They've abused of her talents. They've abused of her freedom of speech. They've abused her family. They've attacked her husband. They've attacked her child. And it's sad. It's really sad. Somebody so resourceful, talented, high profile as Nicki Minaj being targeted. It should really scare the American people. It should really scare you guys too, right? Because I'm the daughter. So it's like, at this point, if it's happening to me, I think she's really outspoken, and I'm grateful that she's being outspoken on it, because I think she's almost seeing it like, well, it happened to me, it's happening to her, let me speak up on it. Nobody is safe right now. And she's fed up. I think she's fed up.
And it's so eerily similar to kind of stuff that Nicki Minaj has been saying about how, people done swatted her house. It's just like, I get it. I'm not asking y'all to like Nicki Minaj. I get it. She's not everybody's cup of tea. But can we take the bias to the side to just point out, some ain't getting the buttermilk clean. My girl, she ain't been caught up in a lie. So, I don't know, y'all. But it's just a crazy situation. But all in all, I say all this to say, don't be going to y'all phones deleting these people's music. If y'all like these people's music, listen to these people's music, because you can't help it, the music not pop. And I feel like SZA, lesson learned, don't get in the field if you ain't ready for that. And Nicki, I hope Nicki really do find a peace that she can get from this situation, because I know this is something that's really been weighing heavily on her heart. So, yeah, y'all. That is all that I have for this video. Remember, pretty people love Malik Taylor, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.